Alright, in this video I'm going to walk through the steps needed to render contours for wireframes and silhouettes um, in a batch render so that you can have things like animation or a turntable. During which I'm going to show you a fix for Maya 2015 that may or may not be affecting you with your batch render. So, the first thing to look over is the render settings. You're going to want to render with Mental Ray. If that's not on, go into your settings and preferences, plugin manager, find Mental Ray, which is usually in its own section called Maya TOMR, and make sure it's loaded. You can auto load it so that it'll load on startup, and just hit close. Once that's on, change here to Mental Ray. Come to the quality and change this down to legacy sampling mode. Contours currently don't work in unified sampling, so you have to switch back to legacy sampling, and you need to go into features, enable contour rendering. I usually pump up the oversample, change it to a Gaussian, and play between 1 and about 1.5 for filter support, which will change the blurriness of those lines. Then you want to open up draw by property difference and select around all polyfaces. You can also select around silhouette. Okay, now that those options are done, you have to go into your material. Right now I'm using a blend, so work on most materials. I know that people commonly use like a surface shader or something like that, and go into the shader group. Quick way to do that is to press this little arrow here. That'll open Blend 1 SG, stands for shader group, and they will go into Mental Ray and go to contours. Seems kind of obvious. And you hit enable contour rendering. You can play with the color, the alpha, and the width here. And then if you render this out, you'll get a really good contour rendering. But the problem that some people are having is that after this first image is rendered, the following images in a batch render will not render those contours. I rendered this previously just to show. So this image would have the contours and these ones would not in the batch render, which causes issues when people are checking the first image and then just walking away, coming back maybe half an hour or even longer, and finding out that all of that time has not been rendering correctly. So this is not affecting me, but it is affecting some, so it could actually be fixed in the newest service pack because that's what I'm using. But if you go in and instead of clicking on this, go down to custom shaders and plug in your own shader node here. So you open up contour shader with this little checker icon and type in, I usually type in CONT. I had already done it, but I just go into contour shader simple. And then you have those same settings over there. You don't have an alpha, but you have the other two settings, and you can render, and your wireframe will come out. So if you're having issues with the batch render, that's how you fix it. Thanks.